What if I told you that reality might not be as solid, stable, or predictable as you think? Let's start with a simple fact. Every atom in your body is over 99% empty space. You sitting there, watching this video, are basically a cloud of tiny particles pretending to be a solid human. But what if these particles aren't fixed? What if they blink in and out of existence millions of times every second? Imagine this. Every moment you're disappearing and reappearing without noticing it. What if consciousness is just the illusion that keeps all these disappearing particles feeling connected? And what if glitches in this connection explain déjà vu, forgotten memories, or moments when time suddenly feels slower or faster? Let's go deeper. Scientists discovered that electrons don't have a single position. They exist in many places at once until something observes them. So what if observation doesn't just reveal reality? What if observation actually creates it? What if every person on Earth is constantly generating their own version of the world just by looking at it? If that's true, here's the real question. What if the world you see is not the same world I see? What if everyone lives in a slightly different universe, stitched together by shared beliefs? Now here's a strange fact. The brain has the ability to trick itself. It can create memories that never happened. It can make you think you saw something that wasn't there. So what if half of your childhood is just a story your brain constructed to make life feel smoother? Imagine realizing that some moments you swear were real, weren't. The birthday you remember clearly, the argument you're sure happened, the person you think said something. What if your brain just filled in the gaps with its best guess? And if your brain can rewrite the past so easily, what if it also shapes your future the same way? What if your expectations literally change the outcome of events? Not with magic, but through subtle decisions you make without realizing it. Let's switch gears. There's a scientific idea called the observer effect, where simply watching something changes what happens. But what if humans apply this effect to each other? What if being watched by someone, even someone you don't know, alters your behavior, your body language, your choices? What if every social interaction is a tiny experiment changing your personality? And speaking of personality, here's a mind-twisting fact. Your personality isn't fixed. It changes every 7 to 10 years. You're not the same person you were a decade ago. So what if you are actually a series of different people living inside one timeline, taking turns? Imagine lining up every version of yourself, from age 5 to now. Some of them you'd recognize, but others you'd look at and think, who is that? What if those old versions of you still influence your decisions in ways you don't notice? Let's take a leap into biology. Did you know that inside your body are more bacterial cells than human cells? Technically, you're not even fully human. You're a walking ecosystem, a collection of trillions of tiny creatures cooperating to keep you alive. So what if your cravings, moods, and preferences aren't your thoughts, but theirs? What if the bacteria in your gut decide what food you like? What if they manipulate your emotions so you feed them what they want? Imagine feeling sad not because of life, but because your gut microbiome is having a bad day. Now here's something even stranger. Every night your body performs thousands of repairs while you sleep. But what if sleep wasn't just rest? What if sleep is when the body runs maintenance updates, like a computer? What if dreams are the system rebooting? And if dreams are updates, what if nightmares are bugs in the system? What if recurring nightmares aren't random, but signals, warnings, or messages your brain is trying to decode? Let's explore another eerie idea. There's a real phenomenon called quantum entanglement, where two particles stay connected even if they're on opposite sides of the universe. So what if humans have a similar connection? What if the strong bonds you feel with family, close friends, or partners aren't emotional, but quantum? Imagine thinking about someone, and they suddenly message you. What if that's not coincidence but entanglement between two minds? And here's a fun twist. Did you know the universe is expanding faster and faster? Scientists don't know why. But what if space itself isn't expanding? What if time is accelerating? What if every year feels shorter because time is literally speeding up? Imagine living in a world where time moves differently depending on your emotions, your mindset, or your environment. Let's get even weirder. What if your thoughts don't stay inside your head? What if ideas travel like radio waves, influencing people around you? Imagine entering a room and everyone instantly feels your mood, not because of body language, but because of the invisible energy your thoughts create. And if thoughts spread like signals, what if creativity isn't personal? What if ideas exist independently, floating around, waiting for someone to download them? This could explain why multiple people invent the same thing at the same time. What if human innovation is more like tuning into certain frequencies of thought? Now let's talk about senses. Humans have 5 senses, or so we believe. But science says we actually have dozens, including senses of balance, direction, time, even magnetic fields. So what if humans once had even more senses? What if ancient civilizations could feel things we can't imagine today, but we lost those abilities over time? Imagine being able to sense danger instantly. Imagine feeling when someone is lying. Imagine knowing the weather from the way the air vibrates. Speaking of vibrations, every object, every person, every cell vibrates at a specific frequency. So what if reality is nothing but overlapping vibrations forming the illusion of physical objects? And if everything is vibration, what if emotions also have frequencies? What if happiness vibrates at one frequency, fear at another, love at another? Imagine changing your emotional state not with thoughts, but by tuning your entire body to a new frequency, like adjusting a radio. Now, let's explore consciousness. Some scientists believe consciousness isn't produced by the brain but received by it. Like a TV receiving a signal. So what if your mind isn't inside your head? What if consciousness comes from somewhere else entirely? And if that's true, what happens when we sleep? Does the signal weaken? Or do we connect to a different channel? Let's take it further. What if your consciousness has multiple layers? One layer for daily life. One layer for dreams. One layer for intuition. And one deeper layer that connects you to every living thing around you. Imagine feeling the emotions of people across the world because your consciousness is part of something much bigger. Now, let's think about the universe. There are more stars in the universe than grains of sand on Earth. And each star could have planets. And each planet could have life. So what if Earth isn't the exception, but the rule? Imagine countless civilizations watching the universe unfold from their own tiny corners. But here's the twist. What if they already know about us? What if they observe us the same way we observe ants, curious, but not interested in interfering? And what if the reason they don't contact us is simple? Maybe we aren't ready yet. Or maybe, and here's the unsettling part, maybe they already contacted us, but our senses are too limited to perceive them. Finally, consider this. What if everything you've ever felt, learned, believed, or dreamed is just one expression of something much bigger, something far beyond human understanding? What if life isn't about answers, but about asking better questions? So let me ask you this. If you discovered that your entire reality was just one version among infinite possibilities, what would you choose to change first?